Hey, what's your dream job? Oh, in my dreams, I don't work.
My next guest was 37 years old when she made a plan to work towards financial independence for her family. In just 4 years, the mother of two saved more than $700,000 and retired at 41 years old. Now she's on a mission to help other women retire early.
Life was tough for us growing up. We were financially insecure. I started working at 14 to help take care of myself. I went on to obtain my bachelor's degree, a master's, and last but not least, a PhD in information systems. And I was a professor of analytics for 10 years. I was living the American dream. But in 2017, I went through a divorce, and all of those financial insecurities came rushing back. My hope was to become financially independent so that no matter what disruption would come next, I would be prepared. I had a small 5K emergency fund, and that $125K that I did have in retirement at 37, it didn't seem like enough. So I got bold, and I made some very unpopular decisions to put myself in a better financial position. And in mid-2021, I had accumulated $850K and was able to quit working full-time and focus on living life. And I want other women to really be bold. Step away from the status quo. I want you to know that you too are worthy of being wealthy.
Wow. Tim fam, please welcome Dr. Lakisha Simmons.
Can you imagine living, enjoying life every day, getting up, having your tea or coffee, opening the blinds, and just getting to choose what you do for the day? Well, this is my financial independence case study. I'm going to share my story, my regrets, and how I saved $900,000 to retire in 4 years. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does. And if it wasn't my life, I would think it was crazy too. Stay to the end for a special announcement. So this diagram shows my roadmap to financial freedom. And we're going to go through each of these steps so that you too can make your own roadmap. And if you need some coaching, I'm definitely here to help you. Just go to theachieveher.com and reach out and let's work together. So let's jump into the steps. So the first step is definitely looking at how you manage your money. I don't know anybody who's rich or wealthy who's not budgeting their money. Maybe they pay someone to do it, and that's fair, but they're doing it. So you have to have a budget. There are two options. You can have a paper-based budget, where you can use something such as the Wealthy Achiever Budget Bestie that, of course, yours truly has created. Or you can use an Excel-based budget that you can get on my website at LakishaSimmons.com for totally free. And you can use that to plan out your entire year and boss your money around, because you want to tell that money where it's going to go and what you're going to do with it before you get it. That is the key to a budget. It's just basically saying, here's how I want to spend my money, and I'm going to plan that out in advance. I'm not going to wait until I have it, because then there will be all these other things. It's kind of like if you're working on a project and you keep getting distracted because people are coming to your desk, or there's a phone call or a message popping up, and you just fall into whatever rut because of now you have all these distractions. You don't want to have distractions with your money. You want to tell your money exactly what to do and where to go. So that is your first step. Get better control of your money. Step 2, now you're going to marry your 401k. That 401k is way more powerful than you could ever dream. Your 401k is your ticket to financial freedom. Number one reason is because typically employers give you a match, and that's free money. And number two is because when you invest in the stock market, over time, the stock market has always gone up, always. And so now we're at the very end of 2023, early 2024, and you can see that over time, the stock market has in fact gone up. Are there dips? Yes, of course. But over time, it has increased on average about 10% over time. So that is some money that you don't want to leave on the table, because while you're working your job, your money is also working for you. Don't we all want that? Of course we do. So take advantage of the pre-tax savings through your 401k. That money goes into your investment accounts even before Uncle Sam puts his little hands on your money. Okay? And so that will help you save and invest money that will just continue to compound and grow over the years. That's how I was able to accumulate so much money. I didn't put in 900K. I put in a fraction of that, but because of something called a bull market, that money was making money. And every time I had more compound interest and more dividends and more gains, that money was also making money. So it compounds. If you think about how a credit card works, right? So with the credit card and having debt, there's interest associated with it. So if you only make the minimum payment, you may never pay it off. But that's because of the compound interest. But the stock market works the opposite way. It's actually, yes, the number is going up, but it's going up in your favor. All right? So taking advantage of that pre-tax 401k at work is key. Once you've done that, you can move on to step number 3. And that is investing outside of your 401k. So this is where you can open your own investment account and make your own choices about what you want to invest in. This does not have to be scary. And you can start with any amount of money that you have. The Roth IRA is a great vehicle. It's perfect for those who also want to retire early because you can always take your contributions out. I wouldn't necessarily use that as my first account when I'm retiring, but to know that that's there and I can always take those contributions out because I've already paid taxes on that money is a great next way to start building more wealth. And there are some other accounts too that you should be aware of. You may have access to a 457B. That's something called deferred. Thank you so much for watching. Now, over on my website, there are plenty of free resources, which I'm sure you're already aware, budgets, investing guides, videos, but you can use this discount code off of anything on my website for a limited time. So be sure to go there now at LakishaSimmons.com and use this discount code. Deferred compensation. Many people don't even know that they have access to it at their workplace, but that is another account that as soon as you leave your employer, you can access those funds. That's perfect if you want to retire early. I had a 457B, and that account gave me a full year of living expenses once I left my employer. No penalty, no early withdrawal fees. All I had to do was pay the due taxes, which you're going to have to pay on any deferred compensation or 401k plan anyway. So that was a great option for me for an early retiree, and it will be for you as well. So the very last thing is you need to know your fire number. The fire number can be very scary. Let me just say it right now, because you're going to calculate this fire number. You're going to say, oh my goodness, there's no way I'm going to reach $1 million. But again, if I could do it as a single mom and a mom of boys, you too can do it. So here's what's so interesting about your fire number. It's totally dependent upon you and your situation. I've heard these gurus say, well, you can't retire for less than $3 million. Well, maybe you can, because it depends on your living expenses. My father only needs about $40,000 to live a year. That's all he needs. His house is paid for, cars are paid for. He has very few expenses. He doesn't buy flashy clothes and all that good stuff. So for him, that's only about $1 million that he needs to live on for the rest of his life. And he'll likely die with that same $1 million in the bank, because the stock market is always still going up over time, right? So you're going to take your amount of money that you need to live on a year, and you're going to multiply that by 25 and get a number, okay? And that is what we call your fire number. Is it exactly what you're going to need? No, but it's a really great estimate based on the Trinity study. So these are professors who have already run all the numbers, they've done all the simulations to say what is a really good estimate of what people would need and how can we calculate that easily. So the Trinity study showed that if you had a 60-40 portfolio, which about 60% stocks, about 40% bonds, then your portfolio should last you 30 years or more. All right. So I hope that you get the hint here that financial freedom can be for anyone. There's not a set amount of money that everybody needs. It's very specific to you. That's why I'm such a big proponent of the budget, so that you can see what your expenses are and you can reduce those expenses to make sense for your life. If you find that you're spending a lot of money eating out or on things that you really don't even care about, then you can cut those expenses and invest that money instead. When I switched from saving to investing, everything changed in my life for me. And I know it can do the same for you. Now, let's talk about these regrets that I have. People ask me, are you bored? Are you this? Are you that? No, I'm not bored. That is the last thing that I am. But what I will say, my number one regret was not having a plan for what I was going to do for my time when I stopped working full time. Because I wasn't bored, but I felt like something was missing and I needed to pour myself into something. And so that is why I'm here, because I want to teach others. I want to help others, and doing these lives, teaching, coaching, even running the Wealthy Achiever program where women work together in a small cohort mastermind to start their investments, decide what they want to invest in, how much do they need to invest every pay period, learn about the stock market, what's the S&P 500, what's the Dow Jones, how do I actually make a trade. Those things are so much fun to do as a group and to help each other and see our accounts grow. Even when the stock market is down, we're still getting dividends. That is so important to know. That education is so important. So that is my biggest regret, not going into early retirement with something to do with my time that was meaningful. So now that I found meaning, I found that I love to be creative and that I need achievement. That has been so eye-opening for me, and it's really changed everything in my life. So I hope that these tips have helped you. I hope that the roadmap has been helpful. And if there's anything that I can do, please go to theachieveher.com and check out everything that we have available there and all the other amazing resources to help you learn and help you achieve financial independence, retire early. Thank you so much for watching. Now, over on my website, there are plenty of free resources, which I'm sure you're already aware: budgets, investing guides, videos, but you can use this discount code off of anything on my website for a limited time. So be sure to go there now at LakishaSimmons.com and use this discount code.